Good evening, TheoTrade. This is Corey Rosenblum, and you're watching the Theo Nightly video for the 29th of April here in 2021. And the earnings just continue. It's been earnings week, and big tech stocks and really stocks in the financial sector and across the board have reported earnings. It's not a complete picture. Some are up, some are down. Some had better than expected numbers. Most had better than expected numbers, but it didn't mean they all rallied. So those earnings plays are behind us, and we can take a look at some of those from earlier in the week. But I think the main driver of tomorrow's session, or at least something major focal point for Friday's session, the 30th of April, will be what happens with Amazon. Now, using the same logic of a stock's earnings-based expected move. And again, there is a class from Don on this type of logic, but it's taking the near straddles and taking the volatility as it prices at the end of the session, and the auto-generated tool will draw the lines on your chart. And again, it's an up and down, so we don't know. Could go up, could go down. Well, we know, at least at the moment, as the video is produced right now, that Amazon had, and again, just for time's sake, won't get into the earnings numbers. If that is of interest to you, it would be on the News tab on the thinkorswim platform, or it could be in the Analyze tab, which indeed jumps inside current and past earnings. We may do that in a moment. But for the time being, Amazon's expected move for the earnings is about 3,682. That's the near month straddle, or front month straddle. Where is the stock trading? At least where did it stop in the immediate reaction after the earnings? And that was just about 3,667, just a little shy. But nevertheless, that is something you can do for tomorrow's session. That occurred with Microsoft, that occurred with Apple and other type of names. Google, for example, when it came up into that target, into the option-based earnings expected move, and played to it in some cases on the intraday basis, but if it did not achieve it, and if it achieved it, it was trading at that price. That became a real-time intraday reversal trade, meaning the shares could be shorted in to the target on the next trading session. And if the downside objective was achieved, that could be a long intraday reversal. Now that's a strategy going into Friday, because if you are not, as of the time of this video, positioned into Amazon, then you missed on this earnings play. And we're just going to have to see the market on Friday and as we enter the weekend. The other stock that reported earnings was Gilead. And we can see its downside expected move was about 59, almost, let's just say 60 per share, right at 60 per share. And we can see that as you draw a line on the daily chart, this has to be a daily chart tool, you can see that it shows up on the intraday chart as well. Now that can be a target to play for on the downside. If we do not have this market push to that expected move or not open at the expected move, it could head to the 60 per share level. And if that happens, it could just as easily play up away from. It is still all games of probabilities. There's not a single bit of prediction, just probabilities and positioning. That's it after the close. But that's not it for the earnings. We had, just to name a few, Comcast, Bristol, and it was at 4%. And I'll just look at the numbers on the screen on the watch list. So Comcast, Bristol, Myers Squibb, Kraft Heinz Food, American Tower, Caterpillar, I will take a look at Caterpillar, did have its earnings, and it was a downside. Again, I'm not looking at the earnings beat, forecast, or those sort of numerics, just looking at the price, just for the sake of this video, price only. And that was a downside move that was a trend day all day long. Another stock was MasterCard that came off the highs from 400 per share. It as well formed a trend day for the most part to the downside. McDonald's fast food restaurant was up at the highs, and again, earnings played. Earnings were here this morning, conference call and the volatility, and McDonald's closed. Double check my math. Closed, I do believe, at a new all-time high, and that is correct, I believe. McDonald's shares closed at a new all-time high on their earnings. Again, bigger picture plays. And other stocks included Thermo Fisher Scientific, which is down on today's session. Another trend day to the downside. Altria, MO, not much to report. And, well, two more. Merck, a trend at the downside, a downside play, and Southern Company, which came off the highs. Then when it says 0.5, that means Amazon, Gilead did so after the close, and tomorrow, which means Friday, Colgate Palmolive. I'll stretch out the list to see them exactly. Colgate Palmolive is going to be on the list. We'll bring that right back. And other stocks include, there we are, Chevron, AbbVie Labs, ExxonMobil. Energy sector shares will be in focus tomorrow. Berkshire Hathaway is actually a large market cap. Charter Communications, and that takes us to the weekend. We've had quite a week with earnings. That being said, in terms of quite a week with earnings, let's go back to the bigger picture. Where are we? Where's the market? All-time highs. You can tell in my voice that it doesn't seem too thrilling, it doesn't seem too bullish, yet here is the market. That is a new all-time or lifetime S&P mini futures, also an SPX. I won't go to the whole list, but SPX is your S&P 500 index, and of course the tradable product that I like to engage, which is Spiders SPY, and that also is at new all-time highs. And that's the chart there of the Spiders. Other than that, Nasdaq stocks were in focus. That included some of the big names: Apple, Microsoft, and Google. Facebook particularly was a strong beat, and as we note that this new, I know it's not thrilling, it's not exciting, but it is a new all-time high. Not quite as bullish as it might seem, or at least feel. And that's on the backs of, on part, Facebook, which had stellar earnings and a stellar beat in today's session. And that continues the uptrend in motion. What else is there to look at? Apple. Apple's in the share price that beat, but it went down. So it is difficult to predict, and it is an entirely different game of trading or style of trading to predict option type of outcomes or earnings type of outcomes. One has to get the guidance correct, the number correct, but that doesn't matter. It's what happens to the share price. Sometimes an earnings beat, but maybe they guide lower, or maybe it was a beat but not a significant beat, or any number of factors can influence the stock price to go up a lot, up a little, stay flat, down a little, or down a lot. So it tends to be a different type of strategy, including butterflies or usage of the expected move type of strategies specific to the earnings calendar. And that has been occurring the last few sessions, and it's led to broad market. I would consider it chop, but again, it does not feel that bullish. This is the week so far. And keep in mind, we have had a Fed week. So as of, this is the S&P futures, but here was Monday. Monday was a chop type of a range session. Tuesday was a chop type of range session. And the low to high was about 20 some odd points in the futures. Wednesday was a Fed day, which is very difficult to tell because there was not much progress in the session. The only interesting, exciting, or standout type of session was today, where the market opened on optimism at a new all-time high and came straight down and then went straight back up. So Thursday's session today gave us the most excitement, opportunities, or risk, volatility in the tape, both for swing and intraday traders. But given all the earnings, given all the surprises and the beats and the information that we have about the broader economy now that we didn't have last Friday, and the Federal Reserve meeting behind us, we really aren't that different in the price structure, or at least where the prices are from Monday. Higher, yes, but that is underscoring 3 days, 3 days of persistent sideways chop. And again, that is seen in the Dow Mini Futures, which is our week. In fact, the last couple of weeks have been sideways chop, going nowhere on the big picture. The Russell is still in a broader trading range. And of course, the Nasdaq, the tech-heavy or the tech-centric sector, shows off in the XLK as well in our sector performance. It's been strong. It actually played catch-up into April, and now going into May, it's just going sideways. Lots of data, lots of information, lots of opportunities, but not much movement. Not for the 4 trading sessions of this week, but Friday is a new day, and we dawn Friday early in the morning, and I'll have the whole session before the weekend. So please watch your charts, levels, open positions, price prints, and any type of new surprises from these stocks. Of course, Amazon, as it plays into Friday's tape. As always, be careful and safe. This is Corey Rosenblum with tonight's Theo video update for April 29th, 2021.